I don't encounter the men either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not picking on women.
No, no, no.
That's just how it is.
But there are so many people who are asleep and they go about their day-to-day existence looking right here. They never see anything out here. And most people, I have zero friends. I don't have any family outside. I live a very reclusive life and I love it. I leave, but I don't know how else to put that. I don't like going out. I get into groups. If I go to the mall, if I go to Walmart, the energy is just like, I'd rather sit at home. I'd rather be the recluse I am and do what I do and be happy. And I have built this bubble of self-happiness. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I do. No one is going to dictate what I do. And, that's what I'm here to do. And it's nice being free. And a few times I've tried to make friends. God love people. It never works. I am always fun. I am never too serious. But everything I do goes back to wisdom, universal truth. I'm always teaching lessons in everything I do. And I don't know how, I guess, to dumb myself down to that heavy, hurried vibe of just blind ignorance to what's happening. And anytime you get serious with anybody, they're like, oh, hey, dude, guess what I did yesterday? I just shake my head, and it's like, we're just in different places. And peace be with you. I have a mission and stuff to do. But I have found that I don't make friends well, but I love everyone. So it's kind of that, I guess, that elimination of duality, because you have to love people, but you can't get close to them. So that's really kind of what it is for me. So I love Twitter because I get to stay in my bubble and talk to everybody. So that's kind of what it is. But
feedback, when you was talking then, but we're working on it to clear it up.
Yeah.
Did you hear that feedback? Or can you hear me?
Oh no, I'm kind of getting a delay in voice actually.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can carry on this conversation, but a lot of that conversation that you was just giving to me, then I was getting it in feedback, so I never pick up everything that you say. And when somebody talks to me, I like to hear every word that they say.
Yes, I do too. I don't like to miss anything.
I was getting the drift anyway that you are a kind of a low. So what happened to your parents then? As it was, your earth parents. I'll tell you about mine in a bit.
Well, my parents aren't here per se. They're always close, but they're not here. The biologicals I grew up with, the family I grew up with here, I was what you would call the outcast of the family. I grew up in a very prejudiced...
Was you the black sheep?
I absolutely was. Everybody looked at me strange. I was considered the weird child, the creepy kid. I was the kid who adults were scared of because they didn't want their secrets out. And I was the kid who everyone just looked at strangely. They're like, you're different, or something odd about you. And I'm like, what? Me? What are you talking about? I'm not different. I know who I am. What are you talking about? You're lost. Go play. And I was always just that outcast as a child. And
so
the biological...
Did your dad not love you?
Do what?
Your daddy.
Do what? Do what, sweetheart? I love here. I can say my childhood was very brutal, very oppressive, very abusive. The man I grew up with calling father was a very cruel, oppressive military man. I never fit in with the paradigm. I fought every bull crap ideology to the nail. I was the rebel child. I was the wild child. I did everything I could to buck the system. I martyred myself. All the things you do when you're young to take that stand and to, make your mark, and, without the finesse and the diplomacy of adulthood and maturity with it. And about 6 years ago, there was a huge fight with that whole family. And I basically told them that they were dead to me. They would no longer have any contact with this family. They'd never seen my children again. They basically tried to tear my family apart because they were mad at me. My mom to stay out of an argument, and she got mad. So when they did that, I said, you have no business in my life. You are dead to me. I am better off without you. And I refuse to talk to them. I don't need it. My children don't need it. No one needs that kind of negativity in their life. It doesn't matter who it is. The word family is not, by definition, the get out of jail free card to treat someone badly. Family goes much deeper than that. And when they did that, it was a very cardinal no-no to me. It broke a very fundamental rule of family to me. And I'm like, family doesn't do that. You are not my family if you can do that to me. And I refuse contact. I teach my children, I don't care who, if they don't earn your respect, they do not deserve your respect, including me, your teachers, a police officer, a politician. I don't care who it is. If they don't earn it, they don't deserve it. And I have raised my children to live in universal law and to live in truth and to be honest with who they are. And my daughter's homeschooled. My son hates public school. I can't stand it. I just, everything I see, that fire just burns. It gets bigger. And I just want to crisp everything to a cinder and rebuild the way it should be. And I want to scream from the rooftops on Twitter, and I want to grab pitchforks and rally these people, and I want to shake them and go, don't you get it? It's as simple as you all just coming together.
That's why I ain't doing it. You've got the fire.
I do, and it's burning a hole in my panties. I'm just so frustrated. It's like, I can't sit idly by. I'm not built that way. I'm not programmed to sit by and watch it. And I'm sorry, but anybody who wants to stand up and just take a low shot with ignorance, oh, let's play. Because I like games. And I'm a big kid, so let's have fun. Let's go in the octagon and the truth ring, okay? Let's do this. And because when you really call people out, and when people when you ask somebody a question and they want to answer with something totally off the wall, you're like, no, go back. No, that's not good enough. Why did you do this? And they're like, well, no. And just answer.
You know something as well. The minute they do that, they lose the fight. Because when human is speaking, and you know the way, they are telling you who they are and where they are.
Yes.
So you can immediately, just by the answer that they give to you. Like I was watching one of your video on YouTube when you said this guy, he was answering you in a way, but he was coming like kind of aggressive. But straight away, that I would just say he's a blind person. You know what I mean? Because if you cannot see, your answers are going to be, it have to be blind. And if you are
it's blind.
And if you are blind to me, that means that you're not living right. Something is wrong with your life, and you need to make some correction. Now, coming back to this, I want to tell you about my parents first.
Yes, please do.
I was luckier than you. When I say I was lucky, I was brought up by my gran. I don't know how old I was, but I never actually knew my mom or my dad. My mom was still in Jamaica at the time when I was young, but I was in the country and she was living in Kingston. And I only get to see her a couple of times, and when she was coming to England, think about 1963 a year. But I never knew my dad at all.
Yeah.
That was my blessing.
Yeah.
Because when I did eventually meet him, I met him at 15 when I come from Jamaica to England. And he
Yeah.
was the man who come to the airport to meet me. And you know, England is a strange country to me. I'm coming from Jamaica, a warm country.
Yes, I can imagine.
Coming into this strange country. So I got off the plane and I cleared the custom and everything. And I come through and I'm nervously looking, you know, because I don't even have a photo of this man. I don't know what he looked like. So I see a man look at me and he says, "Come on." So I trot behind him and I go outside, and it was April and it was a bit cold. And they put my collar up, and in Jamaica, and he says, "Put that ass down." If it was like in America, it would be, "Put that fucking collar down."
What? Oh my goodness.
So he hasn't said hello to me yet, you know. He hasn't shook
Wow,
me.
what a blessing.
Yeah, right. Anyway, cutting the story short, right? I lived with them for 2 years. And I'm working now. I went to school for 1 year. And I'm working. But I don't know anyone. I don't know any other black people around. Because where we were living at the time is just pure white people living there. So I'm going work and coming home. And in the evening, I'm going into a schoolyard next door to us, kicking a ball about with 2 friends. So my father says to me, "Listen, I don't want you going over there kicking any balls. Because if any window get broken, I don't want the police coming to my house." So I said, "Okay." Never go over there for a couple of weeks, but a couple of weeks after I did go over there. Yeah? So I see the bus passing and I see him going home. So don't forget, you know, I don't know anyone in England. I have two brothers, but they was born here. I am the only one who come from Jamaica here, so I don't know anyone. I haven't got any auntie, any relatives, any friend. He called me in the house. He says, "Listen, you've got to leave." And I'm thinking, oh well, he might be joking anyway. So I sit there. Anyway, never went. About 8 o'clock, he went upstairs and he come back down with some twisted electric wires. He says to me, "I've never beaten you yet." You know what I mean? "But if you don't want me to beat you, you've got to leave." So I thought to myself, when I was in Jamaica, I took a lot of beatings. Some of them I deserved, but if it was my gran, I don't mind. But when other people did it to me, I always think, well, my parents never beat me here. And yet these people are doing it. So when I come to England, I thought that was the end. No more beating. So I says to myself, no, I'm not taking any beating. I'm going to leave. So I never had any suitcase. I put my clothes in some bags and just went. The only place I knew was the town. Went to the town, yeah. Walk around until about 1 o'clock at night. Then I think, I better get off the street because if the police see me, they might want to. So I went in, the first set of toilets I went into in this town, this was 1974. Good thing there was 2 sets of toilet, because the first one that I went into, guess what? It was occupied, full up. Everyone look at me. Made me feel good because I realized I wasn't the only one who was sleeping on the street. But my dad never knew that. When I was in Jamaica, I used to run away a lot.
Oh,
and
wow.
sleep out, you know. So I was kind of prepared for this anyway. Went over the next set of toilet, sleep, hide my clothes, went to work. Never tell anyone in work what was happening. I was on the street for a week before I find gigs. And then eventually, you know how life go, find me way, find a girlfriend and you know. But for some reason though, I've always tried to get on with my dad. The last time we fall out, I think it might have been about 4 years ago. No, longer than that, maybe about 7. I went to his house. He was, I think it was about 6 years ago, because he was 74, I think. And I'm saying to him and my mom is the same age. I think you should have a telephone in the house, you know. Imagine we are in England and this a telephone. I'm saying to him, you've got grandkids and, you know, they could phone you and things. He says, get out, man. He says, get out my house. You know. So I just says, oh, I'm not going anywhere. This is my mom's house as well. You know what I mean? So he rushed around the back. I don't know what he was looking for, if it was knife. And my two other brothers who are bigger than me have to be holding him. He says, get out, you bastard. Get out, get out. So in the end, I just leave his house because I was kind of worried for him because I think he might have an heart attack. You know what I mean? But for some reason, I don't know him, right? He don't know me. I just met him when we come to England. But he seems as if he's got a very bad hatred of me. You know what I mean? But I don't hate him. He just puzzled me because I can't understand what he's on or what happened to him. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
lot of self-hatred. That's what that is. That's nothing more than self-hatred.
So it made me happy anyway that I wasn't brought up within a family, because when you're brought up within a family, because I'm an outside, like a black sheep looking into families.
Yes.
It looked to me as if families think that the kids are their kids. Understand? So when they have a kid, the father or the mother will already be planning, say, listen, I want my boy to be this thing or that thing. So they start to mold the kid. You understand? Yep. So I was lucky as a kid to avoid the male principle in my life because I was brought up by my grand. I was allowed to be my own, because it was most of the time it was only me and she. So I was allowed to be my own man as a kid. As a boy, just running free, running wild, doing whatever, without any man saying, listen, go and build this, go and build it. So you find out as a man, I haven't got this manly thing of building roads or building or wanting to shoot a gun or anything like that, because I never had that male principle that most men seems to have in their life. Most women get dominated by the mom to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Which family is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but it can also be a prison to your soul, if you know what I mean. Because then you get into this blood is thicker than water. So even though if my brother come and do you wrong, I have to support him because he's my brother. But I am not support if my brother come and do you wrong. I just tell him that, listen, you're wrong. You shouldn't have gone and mess with Cynthia. And if he says to me, well, you're not my brother, I say, well, you're not my brother, then I don't care, innit? Because I'm not because of the way that I was growing up here, I am not attached to no one. Not even my own kids. Because I tell them, you are not my own, you are not my kids, you are yourself, because nobody owns me. So I am not attempting to own any of my kids. I've never said to any of my kids, listen, you should be a psychiatrist or you should be do. I know, they do what they want. The only thing I tell them that you should be good human beings. If you want to be a doctor, okay, go and be a doctor, but be an honest doctor. Whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? But I don't choose anything for them because, you know, it is, at the end of the day, it is their life. You know what I mean? I just try and guide people.
Exactly. I try to teach my kids all the time. I live by the idea that we as parents are here to guide and nurture our children to become independent adults one day. When we do that, that means independent in every way. We should gear our kids.
Hang on.
Do what?
Hold on a minute. You know, after all that brutality that you suffer in your childhood, how did you come to be speaking so eloquently? That's what baffles me, you know what I mean? Because most people, you know, say, as an example then, who suffer abuse, and I'm not saying abuse is nice and bad treatment, you know what I mean? They seems to like take it the other way around, if you know what I mean. And it now affect them in adulthood where either through drinking or they themselves turn around and abuse abuse even their own kids themselves in cases.
Exactly. You know, I can say I have not always been the very calm, pleasant entity I am today. I
No, no,
was
no.
a
Well, hold on. Before you confess all that, let me confess as well. I am not the person. The person that I am now, right, wasn't the person that I was
right.
before I was 27. We was all in the dark at some time.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's a good thing if you should explain to these human beings how you did eventually get out of the dark to the
That's
light that you are now in.
that's exactly where I was going with that actually. Because for so many years I held anger to so many things. I grew up oppressively poor. I was the ugly duckling. I was this little fat ugly girl with frizzy hair. I wore real big thick glasses in third grade. My teeth were too big for my head. I was just this awkward, quiet, isolated kid that my friends were in my head and I had more fun with my cats than real people, and I was always the strange kid. And I always held a lot of anger as a kid because I could never keep my mouth shut for anything I saw that was wrong to me. It used to drive me crazy. And I was mistreated. I was abused by people. For a long time, had a lot of anger and a very hard time dealing with it. And I really had to sit down one day and do a lot of soul searching and go, who am I? Do I really want to let these things, these people, this here, all these external factors? I said, why am I upset about it? And I really had to ask the why about every little thing. And really what it was is I started almost a nervous breakdown in a sense. I almost felt like I had gone through so much trauma to break down the programming of everything I was experiencing in life. That's really how I felt. And I instantly realized everything I saw in life was one huge lie. But I couldn't put a finger on anything. I was still asleep in many ways. And I took many years to start learning the process of self-discovery and inner peace and letting go of things. And it took a lot of hard work to get to the point of, I guess, this neutral, objective perspective on everything where you can remove yourself and not allow things to upset you. And about 3 years ago, I started going through the shift. The upper coding started hitting me. I started activating it every way, and it was a wild ride. 2012 was horrible. Oh my gosh, it was madness. I was completely out of my mind. There were days on end where I would sit in my bedroom, locked in a corner, huddled like a squirrel with a knife, just looking at people half crazy. And I really almost lost it. I felt like I had gone through this spiritual meat grinder in essence. And when 2012 ended, it was literally almost on New Year's when the shift completed. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened to me? And everything hit. Floodgates opened. Everything made sense. I was like, I don't care what anybody says, no physical sex in this universe can compare to the mindfuck I just went through, because that was some good shit. It was like being born again, and really all of my experiences, all of the things I couldn't understand.
It was.
Do I?
It wasn't like being born again. You was being born again.
Yes, it was. It was like opening my eyes for the first time and seeing things in a way I had never seen them. And it was like this, and it was like I always saw it. It's exactly what it was. I always saw everything there, but it was right there, but it just was like over the head. It just, the simplicity was just over the top for so many years, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just got knocked out with it. And I was like, this is so cool. And you know, my guardians, God love them. They're always with me. I'm not allowed to transition without them. I am not allowed to go anywhere without them. I don't have that freedom. I have to be with them at all times when I'm not here. And God love it. The time frame where I really just came awake, they were laughing so hard at me. They thought it was hilarious at my experiences, because we have to live as humans to understand what they go through, because where we're from is so different. It is so, so different. We don't deal with any of the negativity here. It just doesn't exist for us. It's not an issue for us. When you get to the higher levels, no one wants to do bad. No one, when you get to level 5 and up.
Well, this is what we have to teach. I don't think, like I say, you should tell these humans about these things yet. Because first we have to wake them up here.
We do.
If you tell them about, in fact, you should withhold a lot of your experience. Don't tell them about it, because it will make them feel that you are even more weirder than they think that you are. It's best just to concentrate on just the plain and simple thing of trying to teach them to love each other first, or to make correction within their own self. You know what I mean? To examine who they are first, rather than like sometimes when I'm reasoning with people, I tell them, I won't tell you about God. Forget about God. Although they don't like this, if I tell them to them, see, keep God out of it for a minute, right? Let's just me and you as human to human. It's like exercise. You cannot get fit unless you train.
Exactly.
So I am giving you a simple thing now. Forget about God. You must learn to examine your own self and your own action. If you are drinking beer and getting drunk, that is a wrong behavior. So you must learn to control that behavior. You know, if you hate your next door neighbor, that is a wrong behavior. Just try and teach them the simple things.
Well, you know, it's funny because here, the bottom line, it's so funny to me, and it really, I look at what human ideology is of aliens, ETs, UFOs. People for so long have been taught this falsehood of other entities being these godlike beings with magical powers, and they're like, wiggle a finger and something appears. And it's this complete false truth of what really is. And it's funny because I have so many people ask questions about where I come from, who we are, what our existence is like. My bottom line, the most basic answer I give them is, when you boil it down, we are no different. We are the same as you, or any other being. We are all the same. We just have different experiences.
We come from the same place, in it.
We do. We all are the same. Where it's one, we don't understand anything but oneness. Duality at the upper levels doesn't make sense. It becomes a contradiction that makes no sense. And
but
here,
what I usually tell human, because duality is a thing that puzzle human beings. So I always use the moon to teach them this one. That duality lies within the moon. So the moon can shed light, or sometimes it don't shed light. But beyond the moon, where the sun is, there's no duality there. So when we move within the...
That's such a good analogy.
Yeah, so when
that is an excellent analogy.
Well, listen to this one. When we move within ourselves, because what is outside is within. The mind is where duality is. In the mind, the feel of the mind. So the mind can either be positive or negative. But beyond the feel of the mind is the one, the spirit, the light that give light to the mind. There is no duality. So duality, duality is only taking place within the mind, if you understand what I mean. But beyond the mind where the sun is, it is just a one light that shines from that one now. This one is within all beings, anywhere they are within creation. I know it's hard for the mind to grasp this, but it's easy, like I say, if you use the sun and the moon as the example. Because, you know, we always say life is one big road with lots of signs. So, you know, you're supposed to, like, you know, like how people like to read books and Bible and things. I have a philosophy where I like to read the signs of life itself. Study the ants and the bees.
Yeah.
I always say creation is God's book. So instead of reading the book that men write, I'm not saying that the book that men write, like the Bible, whatever book it is not good or there's not good advice. But people still will not understand that these books are still positive and negative.
Exactly. They're all based on opinion and bias. And you have to keep it simple for people. And everything is made so complicated, and that's the problem. If people just simplify, truth is simplicity, finest form in everything.
Yeah. Well, how can it be simple? How can it be simple when like I said, when I was small in Jamaica, yeah, I used to love going. My two fascination when I was a kid was going to churches, different one. I like going to see how they worship, and I like going to funerals. I was very fascinated by death. Anybody who died, I wanted to see the face, but even though I would dream about it for a week. And I used to think that, oh, when I die, how am I going to breathe, you know, when they bury me up on the ground in this box? I couldn't sleep in the dark until I was about 9 years old. Because if my grand turned the light off, I would have claustrophobic. That was because I was thinking about this death business so much. But going to all these different churches and, you know, watching people getting in the spirit and the preacher going on about what Jesus did, and, you know, these kind of things just confuse people totally. Because here you are now, I say, a man is on earth, yeah? No man on earth has ever been to heaven. But there's men on earth preaching and telling me that, okay, if you do X, Y, and Z and W, right, you will go to heaven. How did he know this if he hasn't been to heaven?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes, exactly. It's blind leading the blind. And how do you learn if there's no solid foundation? You can't teach someone if you don't know what to teach.
No, but remember this as well, you know. You know the thing that's funny, if you think about it. When I was in the dark myself, I never knew anything about these things. And I was even thinking of, you know, when I was in the dark, right, if somebody come to me, because I usually have them church people coming and talking about God, I usually say to them, well, who create God then? Or I would say to them, you know the day when this God that you're telling me about, when he come out the sky, right, I will believe in this God. Because in Jamaica, you heard of Rastas, don't you?
Yes.
When we was young, you know, there's a lot of Rastas in Jamaica. They say, oh, Selassie is God. And he come to Jamaica in 1966. And I was 9 years old in 1966. And I went to see him as well. And I'm waiting, and then I hear someone in the crowd say, oh, his plane has landed. And I think, plane landed? I thought he was going to step out the sky. You know, in my own imagination as a 9-year-old thinking of God, I was saying, there's no way God would use the airplane of man. You know, it was, he's coming from heaven, he's just going to step out. So when I hear that his plane has landed and I see him, I just thought, no, he's just a man, innit? You know? Because I've always had this attitude of not believing in men. I don't care who says the man was. As long as it was a man who come out of a woman, as far as I know, he's just another man. You know what I mean? I don't
Exactly.
care if you tell me it was Jesus, squeezes. I don't care. Because I don't worship my brothers. I've just got
Exactly.
that mentality from long time. I do not worship my brothers. And I don't take orders from any beings in creation. Because no being never created me apart from the one. So whether
Exactly.
in my own being, whether I am on earth or whether I go beyond earth, I don't take orders from angel, archangel, archangel, God's son, no one at all in the whole universe. Because these beings never created me and give me life. I come from the
Exactly.
source. And I am taught by the source. You know what I mean? So that's why I say in creation, I'm not only a rebel on earth, I'm a creation rebel. Because my rights
Yes.
is my rights. And I know my rights and I'm going to take my rights. I'm not going to go like say, as an example, some black people are fighting for the equal rights on the earth. I would never fight anyone for my rights. I just know my
Uh,
rights myself. Whether you want to know it or not, I don't care.
I know what I'm allowed to do. I don't care what you
Yeah, yeah.
do.
So, if as an example, say you as a woman, then say you don't go fighting men for your equal rights. You are supposed to know your own rights. Don't go asking
Exactly. You're
idiotic men. How
right.
can idiotic men give you your rights? I say. But the funny
I
thing
know a
about
bunch
it,
of
the
old.
funny thing
I,
about
it,
it, religious wise, right, Cynthia? Religious wise, these men, the men created the idiotic religion, and it's mostly supported by women. And these men as well are denying the women their rights within these idiotic establishment. A woman could never be pope or an archbishop or, well, lately here they're trying to squeeze a few women in and say, okay, you can be, what, you can preach in church. But in general, they discriminate against women. It's a male-dominated club. Surely
it
God
is.
couldn't be that stupid.
Everything people know today about religion is corrupted. There are very few, in the United States, very, very few people really know the true history of religion. They have been taught every nonsense thing you can imagine, and then they want to attack anything different because anything different they fear. And I found that people attack what they don't understand. They are afraid of anything outside of their comfort zone. And I always can break a person down. I am 100% successful at removing any type of defensive. And now, don't get me wrong, some take much longer than others, but I'm always successful. And, I found with people, the minute they realize that you are not there to attack their beliefs, they are allowed to defend themselves. When you give them that opportunity to realize you're not there to attack them, all that anger, all of that ignorance starts to fade. Because then what happens when they're no longer angry and they don't feel a need to attack you, then they get curious. And that's when the questions start. And the minute the questions start, I'm plant seeds and I am fields and I am infiltrating negative crap like you have never seen. And I'm slowly killing negative stupidity with truth. And it's just, I've noticed over the past year of doing this, the change in everyone. And I've noticed that I used to hate people for the most part. I really did. I really had a hard time dealing with people because I'm very simple and, well, did you do it? Why not? Okay, well, that's not an excuse. Why didn't you do it? Okay, well, go do it. That's kind of how I work. Cut, dried, do it, don't do it. Of course, life has gray area everywhere, but when it comes down to action of self, there really is no gray area, in my opinion. Accountability is everything. And when you really show it to people and they're like, oh, I get it. Oh, that moment of blissful childlike wonder and amazement. Like they just saw Santa Claus in the flesh and they're like, he's real. That childlike discovery of there's something out there that I never realized. It's amazing to see. And humans are really amazing creatures. They need guidance. And that's what all of us are here doing.
Cynthia, they don't need any guidance. They've got the guidance in themselves. They don't listen.
You know what it is,
all the guidance that humans need, right? They have the guidance. The problem is like you were saying to me, okay, I don't steal. But I just think, because I've got my own opinion, I just think, fuck you, I'm going to do it. Understand?
Yeah, exactly.
So the inner voice, if you want to call it that, your conscience or whatever it is constantly talking to you.
It is.
So if you go into a shop, obviously the negative is going to say, well, why don't you steal something? The positive will say to you, don't do it, it's not yours. Then the choice is up to you. So these beings then, every one of us is presented with these scenarios in our mind.
Right.
These beings are choosing the negative because of selfishness. Because maybe they want to get on in the world, a better house, a better car, or they want to impress their friends. For whatever reason, they are making the choice. But it is the choice that is blinding us.
Yes.
You know what? It's nothing else. We don't need any outside body to come and help solve the problem on Earth.
They don't. They
don't need. We have all the intelligence to solve the problem on Earth. You know what I mean? But because of the majority anyway, and the leaders in particular, the leaders, I would say the majority might be a little bit deluded. And given the proper understanding, they will change their ways. But there's a set of beings who you ain't going to change them unless you literally, like I say, chop them head.
No, there are those who you can't save. They're done. They're invincibly ignorant.
These don't want saving. You know, these are not into it. These are convinced that the positive energy and the negative energy is at some kind of war in creation. And they're choosing that side. Not knowing that there's no war between positive and negative.
Exactly.
All this confusion is only happening in the mind.
Exactly. All within.
The mind is not the whole of life. You know what I mean? The spirit is beyond the mind.
Exactly.
This behavior is only going on in the mind. So in their own mind, they are convinced that there is some kind of a war between positive and negative. You hear the story where they tell you that, oh, there was some fight up in heaven and God showed the devil out and, you know, he's here and he's roaming. That's all that kind of story. But what they're really calling the devil is the negative energy.
Exactly.
That's Satan, the negative energy. Now, the negative energy is real. And it presents temptation to the soul. But it doesn't do it like as if it's want to recruit you, because it cannot force you to do this temptation. Like if the negative one say to you, listen, go and rob that house. And you say to the negative one, no, I am not doing it. Because the positive one say I shouldn't do it. The negative one ain't going to do nothing. You just try another, because it's only doing a function. But it doesn't take part in any activity. It is a neutral force. You understand? So it is not looking to recruit anyone, and it don't want. If you choose negativity, it will teach you. because it's a teacher.
Exactly. It's all about choices.
It's got to choose. It can't just teach you. You must choose. You must decide, I love negativity. Then it will feed all the thoughts into your mind, all the ingenious ways that you can be negative. Because you have decided that you wanted to be negative. You know, like some people, they might decide, oh, we want to follow Jesus. We want to follow Jesus. So the negative one.
My phone's ringing. It's one of those old low-tech phones. It has no side volume button on it. Okay.
Like that, natural as it happened. No, we was.
Sorry about that. Okay, continue.
Where was my mind? What was the other? Hey, I think that conversation jump out the window. No one. Can you remember where it was?
Because we were talking about the battle of good and evil and choosing all internal.
Is that where it was? Oh yeah, I was.
Yes,
I was trying to explain, right? I was trying to explain the devil, what they seem to term as the devil. Because if as an example, if you are afraid of the devil, it literally means that you are afraid of part of your own being. Because the devil is a part of us.
Yes.
So if you're going to know yourself, you must know the devil. So you must get to understand the energies that is within us. So the energies within us is positive and negative. Both of them, and then you could say we are neutral. You know, something like sun, moon, and earth. So within a spiritual context, then you would have the sun, the moon, and you would have the being as the earth. So we are interacting with these two forces. We are the neutral one. But we can connect them, positive and negative, properly and create a light. When we do this, we can see.
Exactly. It's all about intent of action. It's all about deep down inside each person. And no one is going to change who we are. The only one who changes us is ourselves.
Yes.
And I teach my kids all the time.
Yeah. That's what I was waiting for. Repeat it again.
It's amazing. We change.
Repeat it again.
Oh, well, what I teach them is very simple. You dictate who you are. We can't change you or make you do anything. If I tell you to go clean your room and you flat out refuse, it isn't going to matter if I beat you, ground you, take your toys, get you a cookie. You're not going to do it. The only one who's going to change your attitude to go do it is you going, I'm going to go clean my room.
Did you hear that, human beings? Cynthia says that the only way that we're going to change, right? And I am backing the sister up 2,000, I like some big figure, 2,000 trillion billion, zillion %, that no one can change anyone unless they change themselves. So you can forget about your prophets and your saints and pray to them and doing all these
things,
whatever, because they cannot change you. Your prophet and your saint and whoever the great being was cannot change your mentality and your behavior. It must be done by the individual.
Exactly. We are accountable for every single act we do in life. Every single one. And like I tell my children, I'm like, do not get upset over the things you can't control. I said, which is pretty much everything you're ever going to encounter in your existence. I said, do not live by the illusion that you can control life. I said, you are going to set yourself up for many heartaches. I said, you cannot control what happens in this world. I said, you can control yourself and how you react to your environment. I said, that is what you can do. I said, if something bothers you, you have to change you to change what reaction you're going to get. I said, you can't change that without changing you to get the desired result. And my kids get it, amazingly. Kids get anything when they're taught from the ground up. It's basic truth to them. They get it. You don't have to teach kids. It's something they just kind of innately know. And my kids teach me so much. I've learned as much about life watching my children as I have been able to teach them. And, you know, it kind of goes back to the idea of oneness, of we are a part of all things. And, you know, we can't change other people. We can only change who we are to achieve the desired result we want from that person. And when it's funny because I kind of equate humanity to a big group of kids. It's kind of like watching your children grow, little children grow. And as much as you want to scream, holler, rant, rave, grab them, shake them, and tell them what to do, you can't do it. You can't give them the answers or they won't learn the lesson. You have to go through the experience to find the answers to many of life's questions. And giving humanity the answer is not what they need. But I found that with people, they remind me of children in the sense that the minute you give them that handhold to go discover the world for themselves, that's exactly what they do. The minute you give them, and every person's trigger is different, but the minute you find that little trigger in every person, and it registers, and you see that look in their eye, they all get it. Every single person gets it. It's just
what you call the aha moment.
The aha moment. They're my favorite. They are the most blissful, joyous moments for us because when we get other people to experience that growth, we grow. We benefit.
It's one of the greatest buzz, isn't it? Hey, did I ever tell you how I get over the fear of going off that conversation a bit? How I got over the fear. I tell you, when I was young, I was afraid of dying. Can you hear me?
Really? I've never been afraid of death. That is the weirdest concept to me.
I was afraid when I was young. No, but I get over it by understanding it. Now, when you understand, right? Like I say, before I was 27, I never understand this. You know what I mean? But when I was 27, when I went through my changes, I understand everything. So I understand that as well. Now, we are spirits living in a body. You know, physical and non-physical. The body and the spirit is not the same thing.
No, not.
The body is living in what man call time. Whatever is living in time is subject to change. And whatever is subjected to change must die. You know, change brings death eventually. The spirit which is within, if you check yourself, say from you, once you reach 18, where you recognize yourself as you. When you're 25, you will still feel 18, 30, 40, 50, 60. Because the spirit is a constant. It is not subject to the change that the body is going through. So when they come to the body, it doesn't affect the spirit because they're not living in the same time zone. You know, even though we're together, it's one is living in time and the other one isn't. One is subject to change. So when people are thinking that they are getting old, it's not them who is getting old, it's the body.
Yeah.
But because they don't understand, because they don't associate themselves with the spirit, they associate themselves just with the body. So they think, oh, I'm getting old. I need to go and straighten my eyelids and, you know, I need to, you know. Because they think that they are getting old, but they're not getting old. It's the body that is getting old. That's why that's why they believe so much that they are going to die. Because they can see that the body is going to die. And they associate them, so they think, oh yes, I am going to die. But you ain't going to die like I'm telling them. You can't die. You are
No.
going to like I say, carry on to the next side to reap your reward. Cause on your this, like I love to use this one on human being. I like to tell them that the first movie camera was by God, and He placed it within these human beings called a memory to video them, so
Yeah.
that when they transform themselves to the other side, when they think that they are going to die. Because don't forget, there's a law within the universe. Forget about God for a minute. There's a law. And the law is not concerned about your feelings and whether you did understand the law, whether you never. As far as the law is concerned, you have the intelligence to do so. You know what I mean? But you spend your time breaking the law. And the
Exactly.
law is the law is the law, I'm afraid. So
Can't break the
you
law.
have to pay for these actions. So this is why I'm saying to you, man, it would be good if you wake up from out of your ignorance, because you are playing with fire. You know what I
Ex-
mean? There's
exactly.
consequences to hating people, for killing them. For
There
hating
is.
animals. I don't know what you're hating. The trees, the water, and everything. There's
There is.
consequences to these things. I don't
There
even
are.
think that human realize that the earth is a living energy, a living thing. You know what I mean? And you come here and somebody's like you're a guest in the house of earth, and you come here and abuse the
Yeah.
hospitality of the earth. Then if they say the earth is a human, is an energy being, and invite you here, for a bit of stay over, like, and we're in transit, and you come here now and trying to destroy the lovely house that you are a guest in. Doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense to me. These human beings
I
sicken me. That's what.
I know it breaks my heart. Ever since I was little,
They are sick.
oh, they are. I don't understand why people will, as I put it, rape and pillage something that is so essential to their existence. The life matrix is in everything. It's all around us. It's
What
in
I find
everything
crazy
I
that
see.
people have money. I can't understand money.
Money is
No
money is
one buy
such
anything. Everything
not.
is free on the earth, right? You don't no being
It
have to go
is.
to Jupiter or Mars to get anything. All we need is our talent, which
Yeah.
we have. So how come we have money?
Yes. It's a control system. That's all it is. It's such baloney. There is no overpopulation problem. There is no food shortage. There is no problem. It's
I like that
all
one.
bullcrap.
Hey, you know what it says about overpopulation? I've seen a chart, right, that a guy did. The whole 7 billion people on the earth could fit into Australia, and they would all have, I think it was 3/4 acre, and that would still leave Tasmania. That's just in Australia. And they're trying to tell you that the earth is overpopulated. It isn't. The earth can
I know
take
it's
another.
ridiculous.
And
It's
there's no
so ridiculous.
shortage of anything. No shortage of
There's
nothing.
not. There's not. And you know what? I am not going to sit idly by. I came to this planet for a purpose, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm not stopping until I'm done. Because
Yeah.
I cannot sit here. Quite frankly, I'd get bored if I didn't do what I do. And I'm sorry, but the person in me that believes in absolute justice, the elite
I
are
love
not going
that
to.
person in you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
see, don't
someone I
worry, we're
love
going to
that. Trust me,
don't worry.
when I was speaking to you on Twitter, I was thinking, no, I've never met a woman like you, seriously. Because women are not serious.
Aw,
The average woman are usually vain. You know what I mean? They like the makeup and they're more in looking for a man to love them and this kind of thing. And even if they find a man to love them, they don't know that the man love them anyway. So I don't know, because they don't understand what love is. The average woman, I'm not saying every single woman, you know. If there's women listening, and women who are listening, I'm not saying that you're all vain or anything. I'm just saying the average lady then, you know what I mean? And I am just saying that when I met Cynthia here on Twitter, reasoning wise, I thought she was an amazing woman. And speaking to her now live, she is an amazing woman. You know what I mean? But she's explained herself how to come. She wasn't always an amazing woman. And I wasn't always, I never says I was amazing, but I wasn't always in the light myself either, you know what I mean? And even though I don't say I'm amazing, I like to say that I'm a complete idiot.
Oh, honey was a hot mess growing up. It's quite all right. Nobody's perfect. Oh, I was such a horrible mess growing up. I didn't.
Carry on fire. Teach the world, I say.
Do I?
Yeah, you can teach the world. The lesson that you are
know
teaching.
what? We're all here to teach.
No, but what I'm saying, you know, one person can do it. Once one person knows the truth, that one person can do it.
Oh, no, it takes all of us.
It's like, say, it's an example. Say, if the world keep quiet, right? Say, imagine that the world keep quiet. Just quiet. You alone could get up on stage and speak. Because all of us who know the truth couldn't speak at once anyway. It wouldn't make any sense. So one person, the one being, could just get up. If you had the television, you just put you on and say, right, speak to the planet.
That would be ideal.
It wouldn't make any difference because it would speak to the truth. It's irrelevant who is speaking the truth. You know, like, it's not like how religious lunatics have it set up where women cannot speak the truth. You know, because, like I say, they don't understand. In fact, women don't understand themselves and men don't understand themselves. But I'll try and explain to them the male and female principle. That's what runs the universe anyway.
Yes,
but in spirit. Because don't forget, the woman is not a body. The man is not a body. We are spirit.
No, it's not.
You understand? So the spirit is living in a female body or a male body.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But the spirit is not a man or a woman. It's a spirit.
It is. It's
transcend
not
the spirit.
Gender.
Just like how the sun transcends the mind, the spirit transcends duality.
It does. Absolutely.
Even though it can live in duality as well, because we live in duality. But we live in duality while transcending duality.
Exactly.
We don't fight against duality because we have duality in ourselves, in our physical life here, male and female, you know what I mean? Which we are supposed to balance within ourselves. So, but because of this, coming back to the family, when the family have a boy, they program the boy to be a man. They don't teach him about his feminine qualities. You know what I mean?
They don't.
It is more the father's. It's like the father would take him and say, come son, I will teach you manly things, how to ride a bike and how to shoot. You know, what he consider the man, and then the girl will be left with mother to teach feminine ways. So these people now, instead of the kids learning about their duality then, the hard and the soft, they just one side learn the soft, the girl learn to be soft, and the boy learn to be hard. And then the soft girl now end up trying to think, oh yes, this hard boy is the one who is going to protect me in life, you know, so I will look for a man to protect me and blah, blah, blah. But that's only because of how they've been brought up in the family.
Exactly. That's all it is.
It's hard for you to see this if you are in family, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. My philosophy, everyone be able to kick the shit out of someone in a pair of high heels. It totally eliminates duality in its finest form. If everybody can beat some ass in a pair of stiletto heels, that totally rips the male-female duality apart. I don't care what anybody else says. That's my argument on that one. If you can wear a dress, we're good. Because, I mean, really, when you think about it, you know, I never grew up being a girl or a boy, so to speak. That whole boy-girl never made sense to me. When I was a little girl, I could play T with my grandma just as easily as I could go play G.I. Joes with my brother. I could go play...
What I can't understand anyway. It's lovely male and female. Well, me personally, I don't want to live in a world with all male.
Right.
I love males and I love talking to them, but I love female. You know what I mean? I'm not into loving my male friend in that kind of way. So male and female to me is a perfect balance. You know what I mean? A female brings something that a male don't have. You know, I don't want to cuddle up to a male. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Not into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me anyway, say living on earth here now, what is the point of two males getting together? They can't produce anything. That to me ain't natural. God could not convince me that that was natural. So to me, I'm not into that kind of, I'm into male and female. That's what create life, and that is the energy that is in the universe. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that as a man, we have the male and female energy within us. You know what I mean? We do. But I still want to see the female who is the embodiment of the female principle, you know, which is my sister. Because life would make no sense to me if it was just all men or all women.
Well,
life is the balance between male and female. And I love that. Even when I finish this physical life, I still want to live in an environment or dwell where there is female. You know what I mean? And where I say male and female. I might know something, and there's things that I don't know. I just go to my female friends and find out. Because God is deep in it. God is male and female. So you can't know everything. You know?
You can't. You can't begin to know.
The things that I don't know, I just come and ask you.
Well, it's funny
I can't go and ask. The other males don't know it either, if you know what I mean. Let's just say there's things that female know, as an example. We all know the same thing, you know what I mean? But let's just say there's things that female know and things that male know. You know? Whether it's dressmaking or building a house, doesn't matter. But we know different things. So I enjoy the variety of things that we know.
Variety is the spice of life. It would be boring if variety didn't exist. Imagine if there were 7 billion yous running around on the planet.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to talk to a bunch
but you see, variety as well, you know. Variety confuses people. Just like I was telling you before. If you don't understand the difference between spirit and body, that's when you are going to be thinking, oh yes, I'm a white man, I'm a white woman, or I'm a black man. That's when they can put you in those boxes and convince you that you are black and white and Chinese and Japanese.
Labels.
Because you are judging yourself by appearance, you think you are the body. You cannot know yourself until you know yourself that you are a spirit. Now, if you say to a person, right, what color is your mind, black or white? Look how puzzled they are, because they don't know. Because the mind have no color.
They don't think about that. They think all physical and material.
But I always say to people, you know, this simple one, right? What is the most important thing in life? Some of them, they always say, oh, it's love, family. And they say God, and says, no, it's the breath. If you don't breathe, you can't do anything. You can't love God, and you can't love family, and you can't do anything.
Exactly.
But the breath is not immediately visible, is it? So it shows you the power of the invisible over the visible. But it's
Very.
like, you remember when I tell you that life is a book?
Yeah.
So the signs are right in front of people, but they don't read them.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know what though? You show letters, they're like, oh, those are words. And it's amazing though. God, I see so much goodness in people. It really just, I want to smack my head against a brick wall at everything I see because people have so much potential and they just, it eludes them. It's going right over the top. And
But
I
why do you
just,
think it go over the top though? We have to come back and
everything,
examine. Whenever
every,
when human being don't understand, Cynthia, there's a reason why we don't
there,
understand. Because don't forget, let's put ourselves back in the dark. Now, when we was in the dark, for whatever reason, we never understand either. And the reason why we wasn't understanding is because of the way that we was behaving then. Those kind
yes,
of behavior never allowed us to understand because what we was doing was wrong. Maybe you was like I
yeah,
say, you hate a few people or whatever you hate. I was doing my drinking, gambling, and womanizing. Cheat, and when you're
yeah,
womanizing, you have to cheat on your partner and tell lies. Now, when I was
yes,
living like that, I never knew nothing or understand nothing because those behavior keep you blind.
they do,
So whenever
absolutely.
we come out of the dark now, it's easy to understand what is keeping people ignorant. It is only the things that they are doing. Maybe they're cheating
Yeah,
on the partner. Maybe they're a bit jealous. Maybe they hate. I don't know. Maybe they're greedy. It has to be something negative. It can't be anything positive that keep you blind. It's
very,
always is a negative thing. And so it must be something that the individual is doing within his
yeah,
own being and he hasn't corrected it. And when you don't correct these things, you can't speak from your mouth anything that is truthful, anything that is honest, because you cannot learn it while you're doing these things. So it's easy once you learn it to spot those men who has not done this thing, like say the Pope and them. When they come to speak, they have to read from a script because
yes,
he
they do.
doesn't know the truth. He hasn't learned it, so he can't come out and speak it. So we can, like I say, unmask them easy, false pretenders. You see, they're
Yeah,
just repeating and saying, "Oh, Jesus says this," or "John the Baptist says this," whoever said it. It's like, but they themselves, if you analyze them carefully, are not saying anything themselves because they are empty, because they are living a false life. Because if
yeah,
you are empty for a reason. It
you
must be
are.
your doing. So these people are hiding and doing things that is not correct, but are dressing up and coming to the public as holy beings, are holy men. When I say
Yeah.
that goddamn unholy.
Holy is not where I would label them.
Holy shit. I think they're a bunch of holy shitheads.
Oh, they are just some misfit.
Hey, I tell you this joke, right? I have to tell you this joke as we talk about religious men. After I just woken up, right here in the town, they've got a Roman Catholic church. So one day I'm going past this church and I says to my friend, "Come, let's go in this church." So I've gone in the church now, but as soon as I went in, the service finished. So I see a queue of people lining up, so I joined the queue. I'm the only black man in the church. Wow. When I get near, I realize it was a confession queue. So I says to the father, when I reach, "Can I make a confession, please?" He says, "Are you a Roman Catholic, son?" I says, "No, father." He says, "Well, you cannot make a confession here." So I draw near to him and says, "Father, I'm a child of God, just like you. I would like to make a confession, please." He says, "Okay." Wait, so I waited my turn anyway, and I went in the confession box. So I'm there talking to him, and then I think to myself, why should I be talking to someone who I can't see? So I just draw the curtain on him. when we draw the curtain was about this close. As soon as he see me looking at him, because in them time I used to look directly in people's eye with a burn, you know. As soon as he see me, he went. And then I'm about this close from his ears, and I'm saying to him, Father, things like, Father, I can't remember everything that time. I'm saying, Father, what are you doing up on the pulpit telling people these things when you know it is not right? It is not correct. You should stop these things. You know it is against the law of God. And when I'm telling him this, he's rubbing his forehead like this. He must have been in that position for about 3 minutes before he jumped up. And then when it was a long church with a long aisles and we're walking out, he says, right to the end, God bless you, son. God bless you. He says, God bless you, son, until we walk out of the church. Now imagine that I went in the church and he's telling the Father that what he's doing on the pulpit is evil and wicked. He should have cursed me out of the church, don't you think?
Oh my goodness.
But he knows that what he's doing.
Oh my gosh, church. It's not. It's horrible what they're doing to people. It's so horrible.
It's terrible. It's a criminal organization. It's a male chauvinistic pig club. There's so many of them in there are funny. It is organized. You know, it made me sick, you know. If it was a group of women, right, that says Jesus was born of a virgin birth, now it wouldn't be too bad. If it was women who come up with this idiotic idea. But it wasn't actually women. It had nothing to do with women. It was a bunch of men who sit down and come up with this goddamn stupid idea. You know, and women, I feel shame for my sisters. I says to them, you are cowards and weaklings. You are the one who give birth, yeah? You know that you can't give any virgin birth. And yet you let a bunch of goddamn idiotic, corrupted, twisted-minded men convince you that yes, it did happen to a woman that wasn't real anyway. The woman is a figment of their imagination. You let them create these things and tell you that these things happen. And nothing like that has ever happened or can happen. And women are the main supporters of these idiots. I think they were, and you know this picture of Michelangelo.
Ready to you right now.
Oh, hey, honey, I gotta let me call in a little bit, or I will get you on. Then just came home and I gotta take care of some stuff. Okay?
No problem. We'll carry on the reason another time.
All right, you got it, sweetie. Talk to you soon.
All right, one love. Bye.
Bye, heart.